The Prime Minister saying the world depends on Canada to be there. For more on this, I want to bring in host of Power Play, Don Martin in Ottawa. And Don, a couple of common themes that we've heard from the Prime Minister. Climate and the environment are the priorities for Canada, whether it's helping to fight forest fires in Brazil or promoting the idea that the environment and the economy need to go hand in hand. It's become the mantra of this government. And he was asked that in one of the final questions. Are you playing to a domestic audience? What's your take?
Obviously, is one part electioneering to one part being at the G7, Jen. I thought the only real concrete initiative that Canada brought out of that was to contribute literally more than half of the total of all the G7 countries to fighting the Amazon forest fires. 15 million from us, 26 million from the rest of the G7. So we're taking a leadership stand there. But otherwise, you're right. I mean, this was clearly aimed more electioneering. I think Trudeau had the word helping the middle class uttered within the first 30 seconds of his opening statement there. That's going to be the theme for the election. And to talk about gender and climate change, which is not featuring prominently in that one-page summation that they kicked out at the end of the G7, that's catering to his strengths back home. So keeping in mind, we are literally a few weeks away from the election call, if that, and an election's October 21st. So this is clearly pre-election posturing and using the big foreign stage to do it.
Yeah, and, at a time when there's really interesting and challenging geopolitical issues going on, and you've got a president, of the United States not even attending the climate symposium, sending an ambassador instead, sending, a bureaucrat instead to go on his part. And the two did differ on some things, but this G7 will likely end differently for Canada and the U.S. than it did last year when it was hosted by Trudeau.
That was one cranky ending to the summit last year. Trump tweeting from Air Force One that Trudeau's dishonest and weak, amongst other things. This was by contrast, a very amicable ending to the summit. Donald Trump and Emmanuel Macron hugging on the stage, talking like best buddies, very deferential to each other, clearly trying to put the best face on a summit that on the major economic issues, there's a big difference between how the G7 leaders and Donald Trump looks at the China situation. Certainly everyone hoping there's a trade deal between the two. Trump saying, well, there will be a deal, but under my terms at some point in time. Canada's not taking a position on there. Justin Trudeau playing it very carefully when someone asked him, say, hey, Donald Trump said this was a better summit than yours. What do you make of that? He didn't really engage that conversation smartly, might I say.
Yes.
That's not something you want to have Trump seeing on Air Force One again and starting to unleash a Twitter storm. But yeah, a very different wrap up to this G7 than the one in Charlevoix last year.
Diplomacy in full action we're watching unfold, Don. All right, good to talk to you as always. Thank you.